Hello and welcome back to tutorial 5 on the important point origin inside base x equals 0, y equals 0, z equals 0. We've split this into two sessions because we went way over time, so welcome back. So we oriented one grid to the page and we give us a whole bunch of other grids that are all over the shop. And they've all got names, a north grid, blah 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 blah. So what do we do? I'm going to turn this off now. Well, what we do is take that grid and rotate it about the origin. This gives a consistency. You can, of course, just rotate it and stick the drawing wherever you like in the page. Please at least put the floor levels in a line horizontally so that you're in control of the vertical coordination of section and elevation. Strictly by the book method is to rotate this. It's actually a group. In that group is actually a layer link. Okay. There are several layer links, so there's a link of the section cuts because the section cuts are on a separate layer. Okay, there are two. Let me undo that. That's why it's been grouped. Otherwise, what am I talking about here? Why is that rotated? That one is rotated to a point where see, this north is now over here, I'm going to show that by turning all these off. It's just active only. Yeah. So okay. So that's our that's the drawing as we originally had it, and here we are. So one of these grids is now okay. The south grid is now 90 degrees around, so it must be a different grid that's now oriented. And yeah, sure enough, we have now this area is now orthogonal to the page and therefore can be plane projected down. I'm just going to demonstrate that for you. So stick on guide. So grid line. Pick a grid line W15, right? Draw a little line, make sure it's vertical, and make that line, just stick a couple of noughts on the end, 0, 0, 0, 0, say like that. It gets better. Now, where is it? Okay, we can stick another nought on the end, and it will now show us when we turn back on the layers. What did we say it was? W15, right. So this section, which is apparently section B, and there we are. It's slightly out, minutely out. There's a tiny error. What is that error? 40 millimeters. Okay, well, needless to say, that can be fixed. So this section is this section, which is actually on a layer of its own. We want to look at those layers. Here they are. So each section, because each section is in fact on its own layer, and there's a reason for that. I'll just come on to. I don't seem to get out of this now. Hang on, there we are. Right. What is this here? This is on layer. So it's on section BB. Right. Hooray! Great. It's called section BB, and it's on a layer called section BB. So let's isolate that layer, section BB. Where's it gone? There we are. And just turn everything else off. So there is section BB, because of course there may be more than one section in that plane, and in fact. Where is that section? These are the section markers. You can see that complex. No, I'm not sure if I can. Oh, there's BB. Okay, there's the section line. The section line class has suddenly developed a fill. So let's get rid of that section line class. Don't know why that's happened yet. Let's just turn that off. There we go. So there is BB. Actually, it's cranked there. Comes across. It steps back and then it goes across. Then it's in front of now. Well, there's another section. This part of it is in front of HH, although that's pointing the other way. Anyway, so the point is that you need to put these on separate layers and be in control of their visibility, because there may well be another section behind it, directly behind it in plane projection. So I hope that's clear. Of course, this way of working is being superseded entirely by 3D, where you just rotate the standard view, top, plan, front, left, right and back, and in the 3D view the position is internal to Vectorworks, providing of course that your first floor is located on top of your second floor. Let's just demonstrate that. Okay, so here is one of my floors. Which floor is this? For whatever it's called Mass 01. Okay, I happen to have cladding 01 on top. Oh, look, it's in the same place. Let's look at Mass 0 on the ground floor, L00. Oh, it's in the same place. So because it's in the same place, when I flip the view left and right, fortunately, the plans are coordinated in position, so that of course when I want to look at my elevation, here we are, there's a structural elevation, hooray! All of those layers, and some of them are actually links because it's simply duplicated. I can look at one of them. What's that? Cores. Yeah, there's a layer for cores because cores are constant throughout the whole plan. So Mass 2 plus, because they're just duplicated layer links of the first floor, because it's repeat. So the first floor, which is there, which you're not seeing the cladding on it. But alright, so let's turn everything on, keep the core on, and turn everything else off. So I mean, it's called mass because it's a massing model. And now look at the layers together. There we are. So you've got the shell, the cladding, and the core in the 3D model. I think we're running out of time here. That is more or less it. We're going to just demonstrate how to take a topographic. We'll come to this in the next thing. So here, the point is that I've got to have part of my drawing. I want my drawing to be orthogonal to my page, just to work on. Otherwise, I'm going to mess about with custom orientations, which is in alternative coordinate systems. If I have to draw like that all the time, it becomes an absolute pain. So my building, I want orthogonal to my page, but my site plan, of course, isn't going to do that for me. So what do? Well, let's choose first of all my building. There we are. So let's just copy all that, and in fact copy that, and we're gonna put this building on this site. Where do I want it? Right. Well, for a start, oops. There we are, and let's put that into the guides class as a group, and it's pretty easy to see that that isn't going to work, right? In this case, let's turn the blinking trees off. There we go. So in this case, here we are. The north point is vertical because this has come off the survey, right? So of course the north point is vertical, and there's a couple of classes to turn off here, and the beacons. I don't need those either. Right. So I know my north boundary. Look, well, I probably want it aligned to my north boundary. So for a start, let's do that. Let's just align that plan to the north boundary. I hope you can see where this is going. But so very quickly, I want my drawing. Oops, the circle happens to be just slightly different. So I want my building. Well, I know it's page north, aligned to the north boundary. So I've rotated it, and whoops. Okay, all right. Well, that'll do. And I gotta fit this building. It's quite big. There we go. There we go. There's the north boundary. So it's going to be something like that. Okay. Right. So that's where I want it. So let me copy that, because it's going to be in a slightly different location now. Let's just make a layer for temporary. Oh, there's a layer called surgery for that very reason. So when I paste it back in place, whoa, it's not where it was. In other words, that is the position I want it to be in the site plan. I'm going to need to make, well, we know that we want our origin to be with our Vectorworks internal origin, right? So that gives me the orientation. So I now know that the relative positions. I think we'll run out of time. The relative positions and rotations in order to insert in place, paste in place my new site location into my site plan. So basically that's it. That's going to be it in the site model. And oops, sorry, that hasn't quite worked out. Yeah, that's its orientation in the site model. Of course, I want that orientation to be horizontal in my page. Oh, I slightly missed that. Okay, so basically what I can do now, I can reference this. I could reference that plan in, rotate it about the origin to make it orthogonal in my drawing, building drawing, or vice versa. I can now insert my building, reference my building into the site plan and rotate it, and it'll go into the correct position because it's rotated about the origin. That's why paste in place works. That's why in AutoCAD you choose insert base to paste in blocks, XREF, and all the rest of it. I hope that is helpful, and we'll cover more on that in the next session, which will be about layers and linking and views, which we've begun to touch on here. So thanks for watching.